can't have that. We can't have that. We have to edit it back in. Hey there, guys. Welcome on in. We're just going to have to edit it all together. We can do that in the VOD. Sorry for those who jumped in live and didn't catch me actually talking live into the microphone. Oh, man, I got to tell you, this whole leaving it on mute issue is something that has been plaguing me for some time, much like the green screen issues did at one point. I got to say, I am genuinely somewhat embarrassed on this one, guys. Welcome back into the headquarters. We'll jump back into the game. Explainer, I'm too excited about this campaign as we continue. There may be an open road to Richmond. George B. McClellan, none other than that man himself, the cautious Union general, has actually managed to kind of pave the way for us, securing the northwestern flank in Virginia and helping our main army in northern Virginia to essentially not have to worry about so much on its north and west as far as the CSA armies that had tried to encroach in the Shenandoah Valley. And so, please do give it a like, subscribe to the channel, consider membership. It's just $2 a month at most. Sorry for you guys watching and not hearing me there. That was that's unfortunate. Let's get into the game though, shall we? Right there. Okay. We're all together now. We're all together now. So welcome. I think that we're live. Hold on just a second. I'll mute myself and check my hearing here. We are live. I'm back. We're good. Okay. All right. We're good. Everything's fine. That can be edited when we get to the VOD. Okay, guys. Let's get back to the map. Let's get back to what's important here. I'm a little jazzed. I filled up the old coffee mug. And we may have a victory on our hands here. I don't know. Early fall, early autumn, 1863. This is the leftover army that I am looking at right here. We got 7,500 men there. Drayton's Corps with about 15,000 men left. Ewell's Corps, again, with about 7,500 men left. So we're looking at close to 30,000 there. The Army of Virginia Headquarters Unit, which says they still have 72,000 spread across, I think, all of Virginia, really. You have Little's Corps here. Maxey has retreated far south somewhere, I believe, down toward Lynchburg, or frankly, I don't know exactly where Maxey went. Maybe his corps is now under Ewell's command. I can't say for sure. Reynolds' Corps is also here, so you're looking at, okay, so a rebel force close to, I don't know, about 50,000 or so troops that are stationed right here around Richmond. So here we are. There we are. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys. You're very forgiving for my technical shortcomings. I continue to try to be as much of a professional in this vein as I possibly can. We're getting there. It's just a one-man show in here, man. Come on. Give the guy a break. Now, there was one thing I was interested to do. So before we get to the final stroke of victory, which should be coming soon, there are a couple of other matters to consider, okay? We have a rebel corps out here under who? Who is this? Mahon's Corps, a massive corps, which really is like the entire army of Mississippi, what's left of the Army of Mississippi. Well, I guess there's still Gracie's Corps back here with about 16,000 men, according to my intelligence. So what they've done here is attack Memphis, I think in hopes that we will assault them and then they can bring in the rest of their army in a field battle. I'm not ready to bite just yet over here, if you guys missed that last time. Yeah, I credit the CSA AI. And by the way, I'm not sure, I don't remember what the difficulty level was when I started this campaign. I can't remember how I set that. But I want to say I kind of went, since it was my very first time playing, I think I did mediocre for both difficulty level, and I did mediocre, I think, for AI aggressiveness. I might have gone a tick higher than mediocre for AI aggressiveness, but I'm not totally sure about that. The fact that we're winding into a possible victory for the Union side here in late 1863 would suggest, I think, to you, and the fact that I started the campaign with like no industrialization, and I did not take the industrialization policy to begin the campaign, would tell you even still that I might have should have ratcheted the difficulty or the AI aggressiveness up even more than I actually did. So that's just it. You raise an interesting thing there, generally, and that is that the AI still gets aggressive and clever, even if it were set on mediocre. If that were the case, I'd be interested to see what the higher levels of aggressiveness are like. That's for sure. So we're not ready to bite over here near and around Memphis. Where I'm curious to do something is over here with the Missouri Cav. Again, let's go in a double time. Oh, they'll go regular, so fine. Okay, now we'll take Harney's corps, and his corps is going to be dispatched down to Little Rock. Now, what he's going to have to do is about halfway down, I'd say to about here, he's going to have to stop, take Danville, and he's going to have to build a depot. We'll put him on offensive posture, and we'll have him scouting. Okay, and Harney will move south and east and continue the campaign down the river, and we'll have ourselves a little operation eventually to take Little Rock. And I may be interested to do some of this easy plucking, easy picking kind of work around the edges for a little while. The other thing we have is this, the Department of the Tidewater with about 5,400 men here along the coast in North Carolina, about ready to take full control around Wilmington and the port here. Build a depot here and see ourselves in a good spot. After we build the depot, probably here either now or soon, send the Navy after Fort Caswell here. Looks to me like they've got 84 troops, and they've got, does it say how many cannon? Okay, nope. All right, so the fort condition is still good. Okay, fine. We still have this coastal army up here, the Army of the North, that I was going to bring down and land somewhere. I probably will go ahead and I will bring them and land them down here after we have taken all of this. And as a matter of fact, part of what I may want to do here is let's take, are we ready? Are we ready with Gulf attack? Oh, that's right. Were we going to go? We were going to go for Pensacola, weren't we? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay. Why don't we stick to the plan? Okay. So let's take Gulf attack, and let's bring this squadron right out here. Go. Now, if we bring... Oh, that's... Okay, gosh darn it. We're in the yellow with the army, so actually we kind of need to not... Damn it. Stop. All right. So this flotilla will be out in the bay, so to speak. Out in the harbor. So sure. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I am going to, and our community's welcome in. Thank you. Appreciate everybody. Hey, by the way, guys, drop that thumbs up on the video if you're already a fan of the channel and you just got in tonight. It's a big help. The almighty YouTube algorithm sees us better that way around here. Right, so yeah, I'm going to ratchet up the difficulty when I jump into my Confederate campaign. I'm probably going to have the difficulty set to hard, and I'm probably going to have aggressiveness still set to mediocre, because I feel like I don't think I want to give the already monstrous Union North with its resource power the ability to, I don't want to give that too much of a buff, so to speak. I think it'll be more difficult enough just with the base vanilla mediocre. Frankly, I think it would be difficult enough to win as the Confederates, and it would probably be a longer war, really. But I do like the general idea of what you're saying is what I want to do, which is to try to put together, let's push play, a new and more difficult kind of a experience. The Battle of Fort Whitaker has ended with the Union units retreating in panic. My command has earned us a glorious tactical victory, whipping the enemy before withdrawing to fight another day. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualty of 611. I don't even know where this was. General Statham, Fort Whitaker. Where? Support for the federal cause waivers. Oh, no! You're kidding. Really? And Gibbs' cavalry had wrapped up his raid. I can't believe that. Okay. So they're going to kick us out of Memphis right here. That's wild. Okay, so we've got ourselves a fight. They take the fort too? Oh my God. And Gibbs is going to end up down here. We're going to be across the river in that Helena area. They kick us out of Memphis right here, boys. That's not going to help them a ton. Golly. And we are just on the run, man, here. We're going to end up spread all across Hellengone after this wild stroke of victory from Mahone outside Memphis, who's now going to take this thing. We got to abandon this damn supply depot now. Holy smokes, guys. We're in trouble. We're in a little bit of trouble over here right now. So, we need to recall the Navy. For sure. We need to get them up here now, like yesterday. I don't know how in the hell they were able to do that like that. They were not that close to winning that battle before. Holy smokes, man. Unbelievable. I mean, I expected them to come over and do that, and they did it. I did not expect for them. They were not winning handily like that at the end of the last stream. They were not. Not that I recall. I'd have to go back and check it. I'd have to go back and check that. Golly, now I kind of want to. I don't get that one. That one's weird. Okay. So we've got ourselves a real problem out here. We need to concentrate the army before they have a chance. So it looks like the main body is all concentrated together, which is good, except for these two corps, I think, are going to go all the way down here. Yeah. And the Army of the Cumberland is going to stay in the center while the Confederates take that. We need to take the Army of the Cumberland. We need to take everybody. We need to march north to here first. We are in the yellow with one of these guys, and we are in the green with the other. Oh my gosh. this quick. We'll blockade once we get up here for sure. And the Confederates achieve a nice breakout. We're going to have these guys on defend and scout the Army of the Cumberland. Got to get on the move. He got me sweating now, fellas. All right, we've got Revenue Act 2 in now. Here we go. Union passes Revenue Act 2. Higher sales tax allowed now. Higher income taxes as well. Citizens protest further taxes, of course. Government support dives. Interesting. The U.S. government has passed a further Revenue Act that allows a much higher taxation of citizens. Sales taxes are increased. More significantly, the floor on the revenue limit has been lowered, making many more citizens eligible to pay income tax. Across the land, the people are complaining and government support is decreasing. On the other hand, as long as the money will keep the people out of the fighting, it can be considered somewhat fair, especially as businesses were not included in this act. All righty. That'll help us on the financial side of things, and that'll be a good thing. Harney is going to be slow moving there. Okay, Gibbs Cavalry. We'll keep them here with the other two corps of the Army. But the idea here is going to be after we get down here, we're going to have to try and bypass this fort on the river. We're going to have to do an operation and transport by river back up to the headquarters. We're going to have to cross by land. We're going to have to come back around down and hit them. And that's what we're going to be left with. And now we've got Gracie's Corps coming over. Confederates going to keep it interesting out west. By God, the meat cutter is in. Monkey Shoulder. Haven't heard of that one. Yep. Continue taking here. Good. All right. Let's get back out west. I'm telling you. This whole thing is suspect. It's suspect, bro. Okay, we need to stay on the defensive here. Let's go boom using river transport and force the move. Go. All right, that'd be the Army of the Mississippi. Now we need Lyons Corps to do the same. Right up here. Go and do it. And then we need Gibbs Cavalry to do it as well. Boom. On the river and go. The Army of the Cumberland. Oh, it's continuing its move up there. Good. Stay on the defense. Gracie's Corps. What we got to hope is he can't get across. Our Navy is there. That's good. Fantastic. By the way, I always mention this, of course, if you want to consider becoming a member, it's just $2 a month, $5 a month to become a veteran member, gain access to members-only content, and the chance to do multiplayer with me as we continue to kind of grow that out. We have, of course, our mainstay, my man, the Growl. He's going to be back next week. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Here he comes. Is he going to be able to stop, or is he going to be able to keep going? Raid. No, 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 no. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Ah, okay. Gracie tries a crossing there. As 8th and 9th Corps will steam up the river with the help of the Navy. And thank goodness the Navy is not engaged with this fort. This fort was a landward fort, which means we'll be able to get these corps past it without any real trouble. Gibbs Cavalry will remain down here near the Army of the Cumberland, which also pulls back. The General Lew Wallace, I think, saw it, or at least seemed to think that it was prudent. Okay. I was wrong. I was wrong. We're not going to be able to get past. Okay, we're going to have to jump off right here. Cancel that. We got to let this thing play out. These guys are going to get off here. Well, at least they're that much closer. Lions Court. And here we are, early September. Absolute craziness. Okay, we're going to retreat to here. Fine. At least we're that much closer to where we want to be, and we're on the road. Problem is, attrition, baby. We've still got plenty of stuff. Gibbs' cavalry does not quite. Let's get him back up this way. All right. Let's set these guys to a blockade now. Okay, 9th Corps. Why don't you just march right here? No river move, just go. And that'll be through some swampy terrain there. That's not great. All right, Army of the Cumberland. Why don't you try to come up here, please? No rails, no 2 times, just go. We got a rebel depot right here. There's an army there, isn't there? Okay. I think we're going to have some business to tend to out west here, gentlemen. Bayard's 9th Corps pulling back. Okay. Next, he's going to be getting orders to gather with the rest of the year. We go. So, Pickett's Corps of the Army of Mississippi finds us in a battle over here as we advance toward Little Rock. We'll have our left wing available immediately with probably half our artillery. Single malt scotch. There you are, Cutter. Cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you, sir. Army of Mississippi now in contact. Now, this is one that I think I'll just set up to deploy for now anyway. Deploy to defend. Where are we going to be? How are we going to look here? So we're looking pretty good. Let's take Hooker and the headquarters here. And then let's take Army of the West. Where are you? Right wing. And let's bring them down. September in the West, gentlemen. Okay, everybody except 9th Corps is moving in the right direction. Shoot. Okay, 9th Corps. No, not that button. Dadgummit. 9th Corps, halt. Okay, we're going to have to reissue those orders. These guys are on the move to the right place. Good. We're just going to have to get this set right. They're going to upgrade this fort. Jesus. We lose Memphis. And what does that do? Okay, that brings them back to 41 for now. All right. Okay, we've got the Confederate Army here. The Army of West Tennessee, so to speak. 22,000 men remaining with Fort Gibson here. And that's what makes me a little nervous here. We kind of need to have Hooker's army come down here with a stroke of victory between Fort Smith and Little Rock is what I'm thinking. And this whole situation just, I still can't believe it. I still cannot believe it, man. I really can't. It's freaking crazy. All right, so let's try and do something about it. Let's build a depot right here. Bingo. Okay, Gibbs is going to come down here. We're going to send Gibbs down and around. Let's send him to take this depot. No. God dang it. This way. No. Oh no. Okay, we have to take river movement in order to do it, don't we? Yep. Okay. And let's force the march. Go. Okay, good. Fine. Fine and good. Mississippi Squadron here. I think I might rather them patrol elsewhere. Let's have, okay, these guys are on a patrol. Good. Here goes Gibbs. Good. Okay, the rest of this army on the move now. Upgrading this fort, which has 3,200 men in it with 20 guns. If we could upgrade that in plenty of time, that would be good. Could fend these guys off, at least for a little while. I'd say we take these cavalry and we just pull back to this fort. And if the Rebs want to advance to here, I suppose we'll just let them. And here we go. Rebs causing us some issues out west here, guys. And I thought we were on our way to a victory quickly. I'd say there's every likelihood that Lincoln and company would be stressing the Army of Northeastern Virginia to get a freaking move on and try to win this thing. It says we got a policy that we can do. We're not going to do confiscation, no. We got many of these. Revenue Act 3, no. Oh, yeah, it was U.S. colored troops we were talking about doing. In 40 days, we can get it done. An act allowing recruitment of black volunteers, formation of African-American regiments, number of available volunteer recruits plus 10%. 3 USCT brigades will be added to Union armies immediately. Recruitment of black soldiers from slave states now possible, as long as Union controls at least one city in that state. The use of black soldiers against Southerners will infuriate them, increasing CSA national morale by 2. Okay, well, we really don't want to do that right now. So I might take a minute to just speak on that real quick, right? So, like, in war, and you read the history books and you learn all about the different moves that were made, how ruthless that Abraham Lincoln really was. Honest Abe? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, okay, sure. Ruthless, man. Made the right moves, the right kind of policies, the right kind of reasons for the war at the right time to win the war. First, you win the war, and then the grander and broader progressive ideas can begin to take root. But first, you got to win the war. And as much as, we might like to add colored troops now, and I say colored because that's what they said back at the time. That's not what I use. Black troops in the ranks now is, as much as you would say that's a good move because it adds to our ranks, there would be people arguing in the streets that it's about time, that the black man get his chance to fight for the Union and to fight to free the African slaves in the South. And there would be all kinds of all kinds of debate and all this about it. But at the end of the day, If the national morale is going to go up by a couple, that helps the enemy right now in the key moment where we're maybe about to win it more than it would help what we're trying to do to actually drive the Confederate government to the negotiating table and put together a surrender for us that will be amenable to our goals. So we're not going to do it just yet. Now here's another one. How about abolition? What would that do? The proclamation to free all slaves in America, even those of the slave states within the Union. This will be well received in Europe. It will also be well received among the population of the North, bolstering their resolve to keep fighting for such a just cause. It will, however, enrage most Southerners. European relations go +10, Union national morale is +5, CSA national morale +10. Okay? So here we are once again. You have the abolitionists in the Congress, the radical Republicans of the time, those who are fiery about how it's time to declare the abolition of the slave and free the African from bondage in America. And you would have debates ongoing on the floor of Congress, and you would have passion on both sides of the issue, and you would have Lincoln sitting there in the Oval Office who was able to look at everything and understand, we're about ready to win the damn war. Let's do abolition a little later so that we don't get the South so pissed that they're going to keep fighting this thing. We almost got them. We almost got them. Wait. Just wait. Read a whole lot more history about the Civil War and how Lincoln did things. I think that you'll learn a whole lot about how much wisdom went in to the moves that he made. And I would say you will appreciate that man even more. The Honest Abe title, that's the thing we all learn about in elementary school to help prop him up for us when we actually learn about the real man that he was, the leader that he was, trying to win the war. Okay? So, there's my little rant about that. Take it or leave it, I suppose. God wills it, Stoic says. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that. And so, I would say the thing we would likely try to do here is to advance policy is to go with military 3. Military policies allow new legislation to strengthen the nation's military, introduce new means of recruitment, maximum amount of annual military subsidies is increased, new weapon and ship types, and new military reforms. I think we do with this, okay? We'll be doing that. We'll be busy with that in the Congress as the orders are being drawn up to get the Army of Northeastern Virginia on the freaking move. Okay, McDowell's 3rd Corps, Hancock's 5th Corps, Runyon's 2nd Corps, Bryce's 7th Corps, all looking healthy and fresh. The artillery reserve with 56 cannon. We're supplied. We're looking good. So, once we get into the overnight tonight, the War Council will be called, and the plans will be drawn up. The orders will be written for the march to commence soon, south to Richmond. We'll try to take the war for good. Meanwhile, kind of keep an eye out right here. Okay, we're looking pretty good as far as just our movements. Let's pause it. Now, Gibbs Cavalry. Let's go ahead, retake that depot. Get some supplies moving there. Try to get more there. All hopes are we'll be able to keep this army supplied in time to get it back across the river. This Army of the West needs to get down here. We may end up fighting this battle first and then attacking Richmond. That may end up being what we have to do. At all rates, I want to be able over here in Arkansas to come down here, knock Pickett down to Little Rock, get him out of here, build a depot here, run back up this way, probably deal with these guys as they advance up this way in another battle in northwestern Arkansas. What I might do just for variety right there, I don't know. I'm thinking about it is I might let them get up into Missouri and follow them all the way up there. I may do that. I may do that. You know, I may leave 10,000 or so men down here to go ahead and take Little Rock, and then I may equip them with some really good advanced weapons. I may take the rest of the Army of the West, head north, and chase down the rest of these rebels using the cavalry to help out. I could see that taking shape, right? But let's write these orders and let's get the army on the move. We always want to lead with 2nd Corps. Runyon's Corps is massive, biggest corps in our army. We're on the attack. We're going to come right at them. We're going to move on September the 11th. Okay? That's when we're doing it. McDowell, he won't come next. We'll have Hancock's Corps come next. Boom. On the 11th. Then we'll have Bryce's 7th Corps. Boom. There on the 11th. And by the way, I am not doing that on purpose. I am not making it September the 11th on purpose. It just so happens to be that way. Anybody who might have noticed that. But how about that, though? That's kind of crazy. If we have a battle on September 11th and it's the battle for the whole kit and caboodle and the whole shooting match, I got to say, that would be kind of creepy. Not going to lie. So here we go. Got the whole army that's going to move right down in here. I want my corps to be as close together as possible. And we're going to move them and going to get them going on the 11th. The march will be underway. Okay, the other thing was, I think it's time to start consolidating command and looking at what we can do administratively here. Oh, yeah, and the Roman numerals? Okay, that's an interesting one. Oh, yeah. Fornicator. Hey, man, I hear you. I hear you. That's what I'm saying. That's the way the debate would be. It's about time, right? It's about time. But we're going to attack Richmond first. And if we fail, right? Well, the war is going on anyway, right? And then I'll have to start talking and getting less excited about the Confederate campaign coming up, is what that means. We'll have to stick with this Union campaign for God knows how much longer. All right. Army of North Virginia. We have 3 corps here. We have the right wing, we have the left wing, and we have Buchanan's center wing. Now, Buchanan's pretty good. Williams, pretty good. Wool is very good. So this is the quandary that you run into. I love to be able to consolidate command right here, but these are 3 really, really good corps commanders. Look at McClellan. Okay, he influences them negatively, I would say. However, we got to keep him in command because he has been key for us here late war. He's been key for us all war long. He took Nashville, first one to take Nashville without a shot fired. He was the one to rid the entire Western Theater of the Confederates' Army of Tennessee, pretty much. It moved east into West Virginia. So, I mean, McClellan won a key battle at Payne's Mountain and drove the Confederates away from Pittsburgh. He's secured the Shenandoah Valley from Confederate military influence, at least right now. So we can't get rid of McClellan. Yeah. So, with 110 guns, 28,000 men in the Army, over 3 corps, I'd say we just reinforce the core is what we do. Let's look at weapon upgrades. Let's see what we can do with these boys. They got Whitworths. Did we already do this? I think we might have already done this. Let's give these boys some Hall rifles. Yeah, I think we might have already come through here and done this. More Lorenz. Yeah, we need to keep some of these guys. We don't need to give out so many of our good guns. Let's say we do a... How many cavalrymen we got? Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's redo this real quick. Let's just go... Okay, Rosso's got 894. Yeah, let's just make sure this is right. Right. We want to go boom. We want to go boom. Boom, 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 and then boom. Just gotta. I don't want to make too many heads spin. You know what I'm saying? Sheridan with the heavy division there. We've got the core cav and artillery here. Other thing I was looking at was maybe promotions in here. Judah, I think he deserves to become a brigadier general. Here, 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 and here, and here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, nobody gets out. Sharps Rifle, Springfield Rifle, Musket Post, Springfield Rifle, Musket. That's fine. Now, let's do the same thing with these units right here. Let's go bonk, and then bring the artillery back into the core. Get it all stacked up right. Get it all stacked up right. Right there, dirt. Like so. And also, let's take a look at what we got. 3-inchers, 3-inch, 12 guns, 9, 5, 3. Let's do this. 8, 6, 8. Let's do this. 10 and 5 is, it's not bad. 10 and, so 2, 9, 15, 9. These little, okay, let's have this cavalry, horse artillery jump into Wool's Corps right here. And then, how many like divisional officers? We got several major generals and brigadier generals available. We could add a couple new divisions to this army and reinforce it. Tighten our grip on the Shenandoah. Lyle. So how good are these guys? See how good these fellas are. Right here, here. That guy's good. Corcoran. Emery. Ferry. Ferry is good. I remember him. Emery and Ferry. Let's have them. And they'll be lower ranked brigadier generals because McClellan doesn't want to have any major generals underneath him to disturb his flow. You know what I'm saying? So let's make 2 new divisions. One in Williams Corps under Emery. And then another one in Wool's Corps under Ferry. And we'll reinforce with a couple of brigades each. Can we get them from Kentucky? Oh, yeah. We'll go 2250 for each. Excellent. Emery's Kentucky division. Like that. And, of course, we'll try to get them the best guns that we can. Bunch of Springfields. Sounds good to me. Lyle. Reassigned to a brigade. That looks good. Okay, we've got Denver. I don't understand why they want to give me this Denver guy. Brigadier General James Denver. Let's have a colonel named Scammon. think he might have been wounded, but he'll come right back in. He'll whip these boys into shape. Ferry, let's give him 2 brigades. Let's have them come from West Virginia if we can get away with it. Yes, sir. 2250. And let's have them look a little more like that. All right. Boom. I have so many troops. I just don't trust that I have the credit rating to support a rapid expansion of the army. I just don't trust it. So that will give us, when we're all said and done there, another 10,000-ish men, and have about 37,000 men under McClellan's command in the Shenandoah with the Army of North Virginia, a little reinforcement. 2 new divisions that will be raised for him. Very well. Okay, so we've done that. That's done. I'll want to make sure. Let's see. How is this going again? I think we could call this an advantage for us. Yes. Good. The Battle of Danville is what we'll have there. My dad would be happy. Dad, we're fighting over your village. Danville. I always have to look and see if I'm forgetting perks. All right, we're going to go up with Lion to here. Yes, please double time. No, yeah, okay, good. Defensive, yep. And then we'll have to cross everybody. Come back here, and I think what we'll do, since we're still in decent enough shape, is drive both armies. We'll probably take... Oh my gosh, so Taylor took command of the corps again. Oh, that's interesting. And then there's Gracie. Okay. Oh my gosh, they must have brought in... They've got a new corps here. 9,000 troops? Okay. Interesting. September 10th will pass with some marching in the west. The taking of Wilmington in the east. That's going to happen. That should hurt their morale. And then we'll be on the march in the east. I would say we take McClellan's army with the wing that's not getting any reinforcements under Buchanan and bring him out here to Charlottesville. Boop. Go. Yep. Stay on the defensive and have your guard your supplies. Army of the Potomac with the 10th Corps right here. We're going to come down out of the Shenandoah Mountain range, and we're going to go right there with the 10th Corps. Bingo. Oh, bingo. You know, yeah. It's like, oh, God. Can we please upgrade the weapons? Yeah, look, man, I need to try to do that in a little bit more well-rounded and modern way. I don't have, so let's check it out. All right, check it out. I don't have yet many. Let's go high standardization. Right? So can we sort them? Can we sort them like for real, like top to bottom? Okay. Weapons in stock. There we go. Let's do that. So mixed muskets, you're right. Mixed muskets, when you charge up close, like and so I would take a minute maybe to do another little rant about this, is that throughout the war, what the Confederate armies always had to deal with was a deficiency in large part, and they knew it, in the quality of their firearms, both in small arms and in artillery. And that is represented a lot of the time here in game, at least that I've seen anyway, from the historical battles, because I look closely at those. I didn't dig into the game files like Stoic's talking about. But, hey, Meth, welcome on in. The mixed muskets, like he's talking about, kind of covers like those muskets that had buck and ball that the Confederates had a lot of, especially early on in the war, and kind of continued to arm themselves with even into like 1863. But yeah, I mean, when you got up close with those mixed muskets into close range fighting, you could really do a lot of damage. And that continued to be the case. And the Confederates knew that. And they knew another thing too, is that they had a higher number population of soldiers and fighting animal men who were outdoorsmen. And what the idea is that the fighting spirit, the elan, the grit, and the will of the average fighting man of the South could overcome a bit of the deficiency in weapon quality that was available to their armies really throughout the entire war. What was often the case, I'll refer to another game that I think does a good job of modeling this in a very simple way, is back when they came out with Ultimate General Gettysburg or Ultimate General Civil War. Wouldn't want to drive you away from this game into that one by any stretch. I do love that game, by the way. But what they did great was they modeled the idea that, generally speaking, the Union will win a firefight a lot of the time, and that the Confederates will oftentimes, anyway, most of the time, win if they are able to advance close enough, shoot a couple of really big volleys, and then charge into melee. A lot of times that'll drive the Union troops off. What that kind of represents is something that the generals at the time knew, and especially in the South, kind of making up for and balancing out the fact that they didn't have the same level of industrial production. They didn't have the same quality of rifles in the same numbers that the Union side was always going to have over them. The idea that the Southern fighting man and outdoorsman was probably going to be way more formidable, was going to be scary even on the attack. And then they developed the rebel yell. So what Lee and many of the top guys, I think Samuel Cooper was among them, along with Jefferson Davis, as part of their strategy development early on in the Civil War, was the idea that our armies are going to be better and they're going to perform likely better against these generally city-dwelling folks of the North who were not as accustomed to being outdoors amongst nature and all of its dangers, you might say. People who were small sharecropping or small land farmers in the North at most, otherwise city-dwelling folk who, if encountered with a rabidly yelling attacking force that's not only shooting buck and ball at them, but that's got their pointy bayonets ready to come and jab them in the gut with, that hits somebody different when they're entirely unaccustomed to any bit of that environment whatsoever. And so the Southern commanders deduced, anyway, that their armies, not that their fighting men would be more successful just because, but that their armies would likely be better on the attack. That since their guns kind of sucked, it would be better to get them up close. Since their guns kind of sucked, it would be better to negate that by getting up close and personal, face-to-face, and trying to, flash that bayonet to try to use it and help drive the enemy off before you and scare them away. That was something that did work really well for the South in plenty of the battles that they fought as Confederate states in the Civil War. And I think that it's an argument among groggy nuts, grognards, historians, and the like. It has been about whether or not they should have been more defensive in their tactics, and the argument can be made for that. I think there's a solid argument to point right directly at what was going on in 1864 with the sieges around Richmond and Petersburg and the defensive operations that Lee and Longstreet and the Army of Northern Virginia was able to conduct during the Overland Campaign that makes the case for that idea that maybe that's what they should have been doing to begin with all along. But the case still would have been true that the Southern weapons quality would not, I don't think, have made defensive emplacements as effective as they should have been to actually win them the war, because they wouldn't have been able to kill enough Yankees before they got to the entrenchments to scare the Yankees off. So I think that folks, when they're talking about the Civil War and they're talking about how the South maybe should have been more defensive about things, I like to try to enter into the discussion that little piece about how the generals at the time were thinking to themselves, because our guns suck, mostly altogether, it's going to be better for us to be on the attack. And as in part and parcel to that, and kind of dovetailing on that too, is the idea they knew they weren't going to have as much artillery, and they knew that their artillery was not going to be as good. So guess where they fought? They fought in places like the Wilderness. They fought in places like outside around Shiloh Church. They fought in places like around Chancellorsville, again, the Wilderness, Spotsylvania, other places up in the Shenandoah Valley. So they were smarter about the way that they used their army. It is a marvel that the Southern forces lasted as long as they did, I think. And I think it just goes to show, again, as I enter this into the discussion about all this, I think if you were to read much more about it, you would find out just the level of brilliance it took, of military strategic brilliance it took, resilience, husbandry of resources, and understanding of what the most they could get out of their armies. The South really did a job on that. And I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent about all that, just talking about mixed muskets, but Stoic, you kind of reminded me of that point for sure. Now, I was looking at weapons to see how much of whatever I've got, right? So let's go standardization and weapons in stock. Bunch of the Springfield muskets, Augustin rifled musket, the Whitworth rifle with... So rate of fire was the other thing I was looking at. Rate of fire. Okay. The Sharps carbine with 9 a minute. The Sharps rifle. So that is what I would love to be able to begin cranking out. Let's order 3,000 of them. Let's do that. And slowly kind of start to ramp up some of the standardization there. Meat cutter. Could you imagine how horrifying a static fight would have gone for the city to resource material? I think that's a fair thing to, again, contribute to the conversation. Grau says, possibly, mostly it was the mindset of the day that of the decisive and aggressive set-piece battle, prevalent for both sides, referencing materials from the Napoleonic Wars. Jomini, a key reference. Yeah, like, excuse me. And of course, I could talk about this for days, and I'm interrupting the stream tonight to divert into the subject matter a little bit here, but I think it's just a fascinating discussion. Yes. The idea was that they all kind of still bought into the idea of bring the enemy forces to a one grand battle for all the marbles on an open field and do it the Napoleonic way, right? Like a lot of the generals were still thinking at the time, okay, this is the way it ought to be done. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be able to cite like all the different books and things where I get this next thought from, but I think that after Shiloh, or maybe even before that, that generals kind of saw this whole idea about there being one big grand battle, at least in the terrain we were going to have to fight in on this continent, such and so forth, that all of that was a bunch of nonsense. Now, they still had to do what they had to do, right? The communication limitations, the bayonet charge, the threat of the bayonet charge, and the possible cavalry charge or what have you, forced them to continue to put guys in clumped up groups of units in line and things. So they still had to do it. But in the Civil War, they did, I think, in early 1862, understand that it was high time for them to begin to break away from the idea of using those grand Napoleonic military concepts and instead go with it. And then you got to think about, too, the whole aspect of how they didn't have the quality of trained troops that the European armies did at the time. And so you've got that as well. But again, I digress. It's a subject matter I love. Okay, so it looks like the Southern Army is going to come north to meet us. Wow. Let's make sure everybody's in attack posture. I think we are. Army Reserve, yes. No, they're in the defensive posture. Let's put them in an offensive posture. We need to be running the clock here. Everybody else, 7th Corps, boom, boom, boom. 2nd Corps attack, yes. 1st Cavalry Corps, they need to be coming too. Go, go, go. Attack, guard. Bingo! Okay, here we have. This is going to be the big battle, the big one. We're going to have about 70,000 troops, including a massive cavalry corps, up against their reported 78,000 troops, or rather close to 80,000, and 143 guns. Just outside Richmond, they're going to get, they have Walker's Corps, which I didn't see before. So my intel was not quite right. This is another unknown corps that arrives in 22 hours. The center wing of the Army of North Virginia is going to come onto the field at one point or another. Looks like we'll end up having an order that goes out, snaps out. That's going to be interesting. Hey, man, I don't mind the idea of like a... I want to do some like members-only stuff where all of us members just are able to jump in and bat the chat about everything. We've got... but look at this battle, man. I got to say, this is going to be... this is kind of exciting. I'm probably going to take a lot of time. Is this going to be a meeting engagement? It doesn't say... I thought it said that. Okay, let's play this sucker, man. For all the marbles, gentlemen. This is exciting. I'm going to have to get a refill on drink. I'm probably going to grab another coffee. Well, I've only got about an hour left in the stream tonight. I've got an obligation, okay, guys? I'm going to set this up. I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger after I've deployed and gotten things kind of set I'm gonna see if I can get this as a set piece battle. We'll see what we get. But they got a lot of troops coming on. Meeting engagement. 88,000 men, while I've got about 74,500. I think their troop quality is lower. And this will be Major General Charles F. Smith. There's a mod somewhere out there, I forget what it is, I'll have a look, that brought me back into this game. The AI definitely more skillful and the gameplay more realistic. So yeah, Brow, you're probably talking about the AOM mod. People talk about that one all the time. I feel like I'll try it out one day. I mean, I feel like I'll have to for the channel, most likely, because people will be interested to watch me try that out. And we're having a hard time getting into the battle here. Uh-oh. Did we lock up? Did we lock up? Are we crashing out? Here it is, live stream video gaming right here sometimes. No, okay. I think we might be good. It's going to take another minute here. I think while we get into this, I'm going to bring up my latest video that I dropped recently. I'm gonna have that up to watch right here.
This year,
and we will do that. We'll do that while I go get myself a little something to tide me over as we get deployed out in this next battle. Okay, looks like we are in. We are in. Right at him. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Says that we're going to be suffering a little bit of lower morale, but I'm thinking that has everything to do with our lower level of readiness coming into this battle right here. We've got 2 corps totaling about the same number of men as we've got. They're going to have us beaten. Infantry, once again, we'll have them bested in artillery pieces. Right at it. Let's grab our OOB. Let's select our army. And let's lay them out right here like this. I'd say we take cavalry posted over here on the flank. Brown's division. Porter's division. These guys are good troops. I'm liking the line formation more and more these days. Like that. I'd like to just, like initially we'll deploy like this. Right? Here. And here. And we'll just have to kind of keep an eye out this way on the other side of Big Mountain over here. Have Martindale right at the crossing, or rather, let's switch these two. He goes here, Buford's Cav with Ritter, guards there. Martindale is there to extend the right flank. We march forward with these 3 divisions, this one, and continue to hold on the left, in the left center. And then we'll just push to the Leetown Road and try to take over these 2 crossroads and this whole area here in these woods. And maybe we'll make it a battle at Little Mountain in this forest here. Ooh, you got a little cemetery here to fight in. Interesting. Soon enough, you'll see the elephant. Skirmishers. Jump into the buildings there. Good. You know, we'll go ahead and stop. Just get the army deployed right here on the other side of the slope. Covering all the roads through town, through the area. You know, that's kind of the idea. Let's have Hooker set up a new headquarters there. And let's have McCook come on up to right. These guns. Boom. Let's get it to 2 times. Let's go here. McCook comes. We don't move him yet. We don't move him yet. Okay, we got 1 rebel division. Taylor's brigade with his Richmond rifles. It's going to be on him for starters, it looks like. And these boys. Let's move this brigade up forward and support. Excellent. The battle begins. Here we are, 9:51 a.m. for those keeping track at home. Underway in northwest Arkansas once again. Little cavalry versus infantry right here. I'm going to tie them up as they all funnel down the main road, looks like. See, this is where we get in trouble. We have more artillery than them, but unfortunately, it's not good terrain for artillery fighting. And we kind of did that to ourselves here, right? All right, so they pushed our skirmishers back. Okay. We could probably take Richardson's brigade, kind of move him out like this, and just help. Boom. Fire there. You boys, get in the cemetery. Right there. Call it a retreat move. Fine. We got infantry. We got them stacked up on the road. Good. Taylor, though, challenged. He's in cover. These Rebs are a little confused to start things off. Let's go, boys. I don't yet believe that they're only coming from here. Okay, this is Brown's last brigade, right? So let's bring him over. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Boom. All right, bingo. And then Brown, we're going to give you a defend order from the Army Commander. Excellent. Stark's brigade has been run off already. Taylor standing strong, with Crittenden on the flank in support. Let's move these skirmishers a little further forward. Go, go, go. Crittenden further forward. Go, go, go. In support. Okay, these units, let's cover the crossroad. Go, go, go. You boys go. In support. Guns there. There we go. All right, we're back. Thought I'd take just another second here before we got into the battle action tonight. This is going to be a big one. Look, I don't know if we're going to be able to get through everything tonight. I've got to run to an appointment, a late night appointment. I've got a friend needs to get picked up from the airport, drive him home. I got to make sure I'm there for him. And this involves getting the dog back out of my house, too. Just wanted to check back in, guys. This is Alternate History Gaming on Bank 60s. For those who are members, you already know. I see you, Mr. P55. Thank you for jumping in and watching that video I posted earlier today. That is the Battle of Second Leetown, by the way. I'll go ahead. I'll bring that back up. Well, I'll have to do that at a later time. It was a key one in northwestern Arkansas for General Hooker and his Army of the West. But we need to get back to the action that we are into tonight, my friends. Remember, thumbs up, click that for me, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a member. It's $2 a month, $5 for a veteran membership. We've got a couple of veteran members in chat tonight. Here we go. Sorry, guys. I still had the internet battle up. Here we go. Okay, we're back in. We're back in. We just got to turn me back on. Hello. Okay. God, that stream technical issues. I got to tell you. I'm going to get good at this at some point. We're back into the battle. So here is how you see the battle outside Richmond. Yes, sir. Sorry, fellas. Sorry, fellas. You're right. You're right. We're back in. We're back in. I'm going to have to edit this VOD when it goes up like crazy. All of you live stream viewers, thank you for hanging in with me. We're trying to figure out how to do this all stuff live professionally. Okay. So now we want to, so we're going to do this. We're going to go, I think 1 or 2 corps, probably 2, are going to come down here around Bethesda Church right here. Okay. Right in this area. And then we're going to have another one that likely trails back in a reserve capacity a bit. We're going to have Gibbs Cavalry. Probably move it by the flank down this way and kind of linger around, maybe down around Gaines Mill, down around, or Gaines Farm and then Gaines Mill, you know, head this way. And I may use them more. Like the army is going to come slow. The cavalry may kind of sweep fast down around this way to New Cold Harbor and start putting an eye on what they've got over this way. Either that, or I split Gibbs cavalry, or I mean Gregg's cavalry corps into its 2 divisions and send one this way, send the other this way. That way I've got scouts on both sides. I think I'll probably end up doing that, more likely. But we've got some detailed deployment we need to do, and this will take a little time. And then we'll have a little ways to go to, yeah, sorry, fellas. I apologize. I apologize for being so dumb about that technical issue. I will do better. I promise I will do better. So let's have Cooper's division of Hancock's corps, right? We'll be taking this road. We'll get these fellas ready to go. Jump on over here. And just have the guns ready to roll on the road. Like so. Like that. We'll have these boys, they'll be here with their scouts out. Okay, we'll have Porter's cavalry right there with his scouts out. Cook's division will be right here, ready to jump on the road. And Grover's division will be right there, ready to jump on the road there. Hancock will be here with them. Okay, so we'll have Hancock's corps moving this way. Runyon's corps I want to have up front, really. So let's have Hamilton. Let's have him be here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let's get the artillery on the road. Boom, boom. And okay, let's do Fremont's division like this. We'll just have these guns be right there. Hayes division be right here. Line up right, boys. Damn you. And let's stack these boys up just the same. We'll have them here. Fremont is Good, good, good. Runyon, boom. Okay, the Army Reserve Artillery, we'll have it just be in a big park back here. I wonder if there's a chance that this would end up, you know, extending into like a Spotsylvania type battle here in Grand Tactician where it just takes. All right. Lost audio for a second there. Got it back though. All right. So we'll have the Corps going along different roads. That's good that we'll have that lined up fairly well. Sherman's division right here. Oh my word. Okay, right there. A little particular, a little particular. And then Crook's division here. Let's have his guns be right there. Let's have Palmer be stacked up right there. Okay. The reserve artillery battery right in here. That will be McDowell and his whole corps with Dennis. Ah, no scouts with Dennis, darn. Okay, so the plan will be to move out. We'll be dividing ourselves by top of Potomac Creek for a little while, but we'll have Hancock's corps leading the way just straight down through here to get down around Bethesda Church. We'll have Runyon following this direction and probably cutting through here. But he'll follow down this way and also come down near Bethesda Church. And then McDowell will come down and be our reserve. And we'll be waiting for the artillery reserve will follow and kind of come in and park in an area down here. And I think that's how we'll get things started. As the Army of Northeastern Virginia enters the battle space. Again, I want to say thank you to all you gentlemen who have stuck through this, all the technical issues and everything. I continue to work on that. Let's go. Push play. Okay, Hancock, he's going to get an order at the corps level. We're going to go ahead. We're going to have them use roads and all that. We're going to get them set. Boom. We'll get them on the march. Runyon. So right off the bat, Runyon will go here. All right, and then McDowell is going to come in right here. Like that. That way we can just get the corps going. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Knipe and his artillery. They're going to come here. Like this. All right. And we'll have all these boys on the move. We'll have Smith get his headquarters initially set. Where? Shady Grove Church. Now, let's have him get his headquarters set right there. That's central. All right, 5 times. Okay, we're starting here just past noon, just past 12:30. So let's go. We're on the move now. Jump back in, gentlemen. We're finally in business out here, okay? Okay. We're in business. We're moving. $20 times would be fine. Here comes Greg's cavalry, yes. Oh. My scouts have brought us probable reports. Troops from a corps belonging to Reynolds have joined the battle. 23,000 infantry and 1,000 cavalry, 25 guns. Okay. Hancock informed me of this. I mean, they're all coming in from down here. Ah, yes, got the troops on the march. A little clogged up, some spots. It's all right. Takes a while to get things in order, man. With an army this large on the march. Another one of the reasons why it's tough for me to just come right on at AOM and other mods that use like the regimental scale. It's like, it's so much, man. It's so much. Will you imagine this at regimental scale? It'd be absolutely insane. Brigade is just perfect for me. And again, it kind of was like, I just talked about this before, is doing it at brigade level kind of reminds me of the old tabletop war game rule set for Civil War battles called Fire and Fury. One of my favorites, man. So I'd say we want to establish control along pretty much all of Old Church Road to begin with. We've got an artery coming down here. We've got one coming down here and here. You got decently defensive terrain around this area here. We could deploy the army anyway in positions to make a strong approach. The only issue is, again, time is not our friend if we're really looking to win this thing. We already have another 23,000 rebels on the field, on top of close to 16. We are looking at how many troops right here? Close to 50,000 on map for us right now. There's your cavalry screen. Calm down now. Calm down now. Yeah, I did a whole hog core movement here, so ooh, look how far we can see, man. Smack. I suspect their new core is coming on from down here and going to get in position, but can't say I know for sure. All right, now Greg's cavalry is on. Fantastic. Right? Okay, so let's take Greg's cavalry corps and let's bring them out into this area here to just take control of this road. Let's do it. Let's go cavalry here. Okay, nice big open area. Cavalry, it's good for cavalry. We'll place, do precise deployment placements as we near the enemy positions. Let's go 5 times again. Oh, whoops, nope, no, wait. There's a new battery here under Sanborn that we need to put somewhere. Oh, okay. No, he has gotten orders. Okay, good. All right, 5 times. All right, so you see, it looks to me like they've got troops maybe all up in here, probably down and through here, probably around Beulah Courthouse, or they will. And yeah, they'll just have a nice line that bows out right here. You know, and when a big battle happens and the AI is on defense like this, and they've got 3 points to gravitate and build formations around, maybe it'll be kind of cool I don't know. Maybe it'll be kind of representative. We'll see. I think there is one thing that kind of helps you a little bit is if you want to set up kind of a representative battle that the AI doesn't run out and come and get you when they're on defense. That obviously could make a real jambalaya of things. Amen. Amen, boys. So Cook's division is up. That's 5th Corps. Right? No, that's 2nd Corps. Okay. 2nd Corps. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slow it down. Fremont. We're going to change this up. Fremont is going to come here. Hamilton is going to come right here. And Crook, oh, he's with McDowell. Then who we got? Duryea. Yeah, Duryea is in Runyon's corps. I would say I'd put him like here. And then Palmer is in McDowell's corps. And we'll just let McDowell go ahead and lay out the way that he's going to. Let's have Seymour's cavalry go ahead and let's get up to, say, 5th Corps, 8th Division under Grover, right? We'll go ahead and we'll just let them get out in position near Bethesda Church, lay it out like they would. We need to get commanders close by before we do a whole bunch of micro out here like with this cavalry. For now, I think we'll do evade with them because we know they're close to the enemy. These boys, scouts out. Same. Let's go. So it's going to take a little time for us to get into action here. I would say it'd probably behoove us I'm thinking we might want to take this section of, so between Beulah, Courthouse, and Old Cold Harbor Road, I'm thinking that we may need to push an aggressive attack against this sector of the battlefield sooner rather than later and try to take this area here and own it, get troops all up in here, try to get a line that's established. If we could take ground down to this stream bed here and have a new battle line that kind of covers this through here and to Beulah Courthouse or something like that before dark. I don't think that's going to be possible, though. I just don't think we have time. Yeah, I just don't think we have time. Oh, and that was the other thing is everybody coming on from, 7th Corps under Bryce is coming on at Hanover Courthouse, which I think is up here. Yeah. And then the center wing under Buchanan is coming on from Richmond. Really? Okay. They'll be coming on in 44 hours. They'll be coming on from down here. Interesting. McClellan dispatches Buchanan's corps to outflank the Rebs. You know what I'm going to do? Okay, guys, check this out. Check this out. Everybody, check this out. Does Charles F. Smith get the communication that Buchanan's corps is on the way? Charles F. Smith is the commander of the Army of Northeastern Virginia, the bulk of which is marching on the field right now. Where is Charles F. Smith? Where is he? Is he up here? Let's go to him. Boom. Okay. Yeah, he's up here. He's going to make his headquarters down here. All right. Does he get the notification from McClellan that Buchanan will arrive after a flanking march from Charlottesville to fall on his right flank and help defeat this rebel army? What I'm thinking of doing is I want to ask if you guys, would you be interested in me taking a die roll? 1 to 3, it's a yes. Charles F. Smith does get the message today before nightfall. Okay? Or doesn't. 4 to 6. And then tomorrow I do another die roll in the morning and in the afternoon on day 2 to see if he gets the message. And if he doesn't through that entire time, then we got to think of what we're going to do with Buchanan. I don't know. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there's I mean, right there. You and I have talked about this until we're both blue in the face. You know that. I know that, Stoic. And here's what I'll say to you is that I will not ever go over and jigger with the enemies, the AI enemies' armies. Don't want to know. Don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they got over there. If that's what I've got to do, I ain't doing it. Not gonna do it. It's like that. It's like not turning the trees off in Scourge of War. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Now, you can play the AOM mod without doing what you're talking about there, obviously. And regiments would make it, I think, honestly, kind of more representative from like a tactical combat perspective. And that's something that I've wanted to mention that before. Is as far as I can tell anyway, and I think it's largely why the Fire and Fury rules set existed. It's why they made this a brigade level in the vanilla game, I might say. And light up the chat and tell me I'm wrong on this one, because it may be fair. Is that so much of what I've seen of the way that the tactical engagements played out during the war is that a brigade of regiments would end up with them in a big long line anyway on the battlefield. And so that is kind of what this is meant to end up representing in the aggregate, let's say. Yeah, they would start with, say, a double line formation, but that in large degree, they would end up in one big long battle line and fight like that. And I think that's part of the reason why brigades levels also still kind of works with me in the way I use my imagination. I thought I'd mention that too. All right, let's make sure that get everybody up here. Boom. Also got to make sure we get down, hear some sound so that my headphones don't blink out on me. Okay, we're coming up on damn near time. I got to jump off here. Let's see how far we can get. And then the entire next stream, I believe, will be the battle for Richmond. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, as far as, the AOM mod or, other mods of games and things like that, like, the whole thing about that, too, is it's like, I know that there's a lot of people in the community and gamers in general. There are guys that have the technical know-how and probably are professionals at software engineering or what have you, are people who just love the tinkering with the thing in the back, of the back end of whatever it is, a game or a program, who really, really know, like they know that they can use their skill to mod the game and make it better, and they know what they're doing on the back end. Like I wish I had the skill, because then I know I would have a much more keen, I believe anyway, I would have a much more keen interest in game modification. I feel like one day I'm going to want to try to like take a course and learn for myself about all that. We need to get Runyon's core artillery in a sensible location. Okay, we've got McDowell and Runyon in a good spot right here. I'm not expecting any attacks right now. I would say we could probably get McDowell's corps across, but I think I'd rather concentrate over most of the army over toward Bethesda Church and its surrounds, and Hancock. So I think what we'll do is we're going to take McDowell's divisions. So we've got Sherman. All right, so let's double check and let's take a look again. Hancock's men are going to be splayed out like this, right? So let's just remember that. Third Corps I'm going to have set kind of around here. So let's have Sherman. He'll be on the left, kind of right there. Then Crook be in the center, kind of right there. And then Palmer's division be kind of on the right of the corps, although I think I might just keep them tight to this crossroad right here. Right there. Like that. And then we'll get McDowell, and we'll move him to that farmhouse. Does he have corps artillery? Dennis, he goes. We'll have him be out here on the flank. Yep, Andrews Battery. Put them there. Okay. So McDowell's corps get on the move. Let's start deploying the cavalry out like we would. Let's have this crossing covered like that. Let's have these, is this woods? Yeah, let's have these woods covered. Let's put the guns up here. And then a little more, kind of role play types thing here. A little bit Palmer, Ennis Palmer, and his troopers. We'll deploy Slack's troopers out to cover there. Tompkins just kind of covering these forest trails. Let's have all of our scouts out. Right? Yeah. Okay. These guns are going to be right there with Fessenden's cavalry brigade kind of back protecting the guns. We'll put him on this fence right here. Boop. So we'll have the cav monitoring the right. There we have good sight on at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemy divisions. Okay. Let's go 5 times on that. We should go into nighttime. Oh, let's go. Yeah, okay, I'm reading everybody. No messages before nightfall, maybe tomorrow. I think Buchanan could take the initiative if Smith doesn't get the message, and Smith could somehow get scouts report of Union Blue Boys on the right flank. Prone to timing issues. Regimental play stimulates. Sure, just change double line formation to single if you want. Yeah, right. Game, you learn. Yep. Yeah. I'd counter develop irritated or anger if modders change the game for better. Actually, yeah. So that conversation is fair. Like all sides are fair. In my look, I'm not a technical guy. I've never had the skill like I talk about to dabble with the game, and so like I think the way I think about it, and it comes directly, I think honestly as a result of that very thing. If I did have the skill, then I think I would I would mod games. I would put modded versions of games onto this channel and want to show off like my work and stuff, and so like I get it, man. I totally get it. And one of those things is like Grau even talks, or Grau comes on the channel, and what do? We play his mod. By goodness, you better believe that. No doubt about that. But also, thank you for chiming in about messages, okay? That is, I think what I will do, no messages before dark. I think that's fair. Buchanan's not going to be here until, so another 38 hours, right? So 24 hours from now is almost 1845, and then another 14 hours after that. So we don't get him tomorrow, we get him the next day. And I think we get him right on the field in the morning time, right? I think is how that's going to be. And we got all of our cavalry out here. We can see them pretty well. Just can't quite see what else they've got. Okay, we got 2 divisions. 1, 2, 3. Bet you there's 4. 5, 6. I bet you that's what they've got. And it'll take us the rest of the night to march on down here, looks like. All right, let's go ahead. Let's change this to this. All right, boys. Keep scouts out. Right, let's bring the scouts forward. I like to do that every chance I get. Just have them see if they can get an eye on guys. And by the way, they never follow these orders. Yeah, see, they all kind of cancel them. So there you go. And I tell you what, I think I might have these guns move up a little bit. Boom. Then we'll have cannon covering that if the Rebs decide they want to attack that way somehow, some way. And then we'll be awaiting Bright. He'll have to join. I suspect we'll get an attack underway on day 2 up here and try to grind the flank. We'll probably put a corps on the flank. 5th Corps, 2nd Corps, bingo. 3rd Corps in reserve, or maybe filling in down here and deploying to fill in this space. Kind of take this crossroad and own it with 3rd Corps. 5th Corps, or maybe it's tough to It's tough to decide yet. It's tough to decide yet. Let's go 5 times. Sure. I mean, and that's the other piece is like, can the AI be improved? I think that like the easy, obvious answer to that question, and especially in the time that we're living right now, it's like absolutely, positively, AI can always be improved. I think that's just the truth of the age in which we live. Really, it's advancing and advancing and advancing and advancing, right? So we have our cav in good position to grab this road like we wanted. And we've grabbed this one, and we've got all of this here. I think we just hold on that end, really. Be good to have a corps in position to, I think maybe Bryce's corps ends up falling on the right end of the army to defend in the case that we have to fight a defensive action back toward our supply area here and here to defend those. I doubt that will happen, but you never know. And we'll probably wait for the following morning before we actually set everybody out where I want to put them for the attack. End of day. There it is, fellas. We shall continue. On to 0700 of the following day. And the deployment phase, oh boy. Okay. Thanks to Greg's Cavalry Corps, we got all this to work with. And we'll be marching to the battle with Bryce's Corps. Oh my gosh. I think, gentlemen, we have done enough. I'm afraid I do have to jump off the stream for tonight. I hope that doesn't disappoint too many. It was going to be a little bit of a shorter stream tonight regardless. But we got quite a setup here. I'll probably work on doing some deployments before I jump on the next stream. That way we can just kind of jump right into the action as this vital battle heats up. When we push the play button tomorrow, I'm not sure that Rebs may adjust their deployments. And that could make things really interesting. We'll have to see. In any case, we've got ourselves a gigantic battle coming up on the next stream, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. We'll wrap it up at headquarters as we do. Thanking all of you for being here with me at Alternate History Gaming. I am Bank60s, your humble and gracious player host. Do me the favor, would you, before we leave the stream tonight, remember, click that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe to the channel. I love you for doing that. It helps grow the channel as well. I will see you all on the next one. Enjoy your evening with my compliments.